Welcome to Joe's Bar. What conversation can we get started for you tonight? Yes, Joe's Bar. Welcome to another Joe's Bar. Welcome to the show. I am, of course, Joe Compton, and this is Going You Now, and this is Joe's Bar. Not with me yapping, because I got a lot of people that can yap just as good, so I want them to do that tonight. So let's introduce everybody, and then we'll get to yapping. So, Tim, why don't you start us off?
Oh, me. Okay, so I'm Tim Niederreiter. I'm a semi-professional bullshitter because I have a podcast of my own, and where all I do is talk to authors and stuff. That's called the Live After Reading, and I have books out too. You can find them over. Geez, how do you point to that thing on the screen? There, that thing. TimNiederreiter.com/books.
Yeah. Nice, awesome. Welcome, sir. All right, Vanessa.
Hey, I'm Vanessa Junta. I am a freelance fiction editor. I am also the author of the Soul Cavern series, and I'm here to drink and talk and schmooze.
Nice, awesome. Welcome. All right, Maddie.
Hey guys, I am Madeline Dale. I am a fantasy, paranormal, romance, kind of mixed genre author, and you can find my stuff. Oh Lord, trying to point it out. Here's my website. So really hard to point that. And I am here to have a good glass of wine and chat with friends.
Nice, awesome, welcome. All right, I'm just going down the line here. Okay, Anita.
Hi, I'm Anita Stewart. I write under A.F. Stewart, horror, dark fantasy. Just put out my latest poetry book, Poetry of Monsters and Madness. I'm also a podcaster, graphic artist, and I'm way too busy for my own good.
And the host of Words That Kill on Going To Now. Yeah. Welcome. All right, Lily.
Hi, I'm Lily Lucchesi. I am an editor full-time. I am also the USA Today bestselling author of the Paranormal Detective series, the Coven series, and other paranormal and horror books. You can find me just searching my name down there.
Nice. Awesome. All right, Nikki.
Oh, hi, I'm Nikki Nelson Hicks. I'm a writer of a whole bunch of things, from pulp noir to steampunk to horror to murder mysteries, whatever. I just got finished squeezing out the last of a Cabernet box, just squeezing it like a virgin on prom night. So now I am doing whiskey and some Coke. So we'll see how the night goes.
Okay.
That's it. Awesome. Go ahead.
I will. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Joe's Bar. It's nice to have you all. There was a lively conversation going on just right before here, talking about snow and stuff.
Oh my God. It was an old fart talk about the road conditions. Nobody wants to know.
Back in my day.
That's like a
back in my day. Kids it snowed. Kids still went to school. Blah 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 blah.
Don't get us started. We might get on potholes.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started about potholes.
The potholes in Oklahoma are bad.
Guys, welcome, fam. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So we won't start with that. So I know. Okay, not to talk about snow, potholes, and math. I know that nobody wants to do math right now because it's late for most people. No. So, how's everybody's writing going? Let's start there. How's everybody doing?
I had
finished my book finally.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good. I actually sent it out to the first round of beta readers yesterday. So, yeah. Dark fantasy romance, kind of reverse harem steamy. So everybody likes steamy stuff. Keep an eye out. It's coming out January 12th. Black Flames.
Nice.
I am in a bit of a rush with my writing. And trying to hurry and finish my very first sweet romance under my pen name of Samantha Calcott. I've never written them before, but I've always watched Hallmark, and so I wanted to give it a shot. So it's been fun, but it's a time crunch, unfortunately, but I'm going to get it done.
You're somebody who's very daring. You've done cozy mysteries. You've done paranormal romance. I like that. That's pretty cool. Is that something you're interested in? Is just trying every genre? You've even kind of dabbled in a little horror at times, too.
Oh, yes. And that's actually my favorite genre, and I would like to write more in it. But for some reason, I put fingers to keyboard and urban fantasy and mysteries come out. So, it's not really my choice. But yeah, basically this pen name I put under the banner of speculative fiction and urban fantasy and anything that can go under that. And the Samantha Kelcott name I put under the banner of romance. I've done MM, a lot of BDSM, paranormal romance, and now I'm trying sweet because why not? You don't know if something's going to work if you never try.
Right. What have you learned about it that you didn't know going into it?
It's not something that I learned that I didn't know, but something that I realized that I thought I wasn't going to enjoy was the formulaic option of it. And I love it. I love taking this structured formula that a sweet romance has to have and kind of where can I poke holes in this? What can I do to make this different? So that's been a fun learning curve for me.
Nice. Speaking of poking holes, Rebecca is.
Rebecca.
And yes, I know I'm gonna pay for that comment too. Yes, she's got a suggestion: horror, cozy romance. Ooh.
What about
horror and cozy doesn't
sweet
fit by
BDSM? Sweet BDSM romance. Come on.
There's no such thing.
I think that the readers would, flay that one alive.
Well, then consider me a flayed man.
Do you want to repeat, Tim, what you were telling me before we got on the air? Probably not, because we were talking about the New Year's show and your resolution. And
oh yeah, I've only written I've written 5 books this year.
What was the resolution?
Oh, the resolution was to publish 12 books this year and write 10.
Damn.
I've only written 5. I published only 3.
But still, you've written 5, and it's not even October, so good on you.
Well, not even, but you do notice how the math works out there. Not to say we're not doing math.
No, we're not talking about math.
3/4 of the year is basically over.
Joe promised we weren't talking about math. We're not talking about math.
But
you got 5 books done this year. That's awesome.
It is pretty good. I'm pretty happy about it. But only 3 published, and that's kind of an issue. Hopefully I'll be able to get one every couple weeks from this point on, though, because I'm finally in a better position to do so. So, anyway.
I'm finally getting a little bit more back on track with my writing. It's been a really rough 1.5, 2 years for me. So my writing came to a complete standstill, and I still haven't finished the last book of the series that I wanted to have done by February of 2020. Still sitting in basically the same condition it was then, but I've been working on other stuff. I'm working on a Vela project that I'm putting out weekly, episodes, and I've been doing the NYC Midnight challenges, if you're familiar with those. And I've been doing pretty okay, and it's been a good low pressure way to kind of jumpstart my writing again. So I'm really glad that I started doing that.
Can we tell people why you were delayed?
Yeah.
Because I don't think everybody knows the story.
So the pandemic was the easy part of the last 1.5 years for me. In July of last year, a tree fell and demolished my living room. And I don't know if you've ever been in Atlanta in July, but it's the height of humidity. So by the time they got it enclosed, mold had infested my house. And so we had to pull out all of the cabinets, all of the carpet, all of the flooring, all of the doors.
Oh, just burn the house down.
Door frames.
Start over.
But here's the kicker, and y'all who own houses need to check your insurance policy, because there's the standard mold addendum is $25,000.
Oh,
it cost $18,000 just to clean the house and clean my stuff. Not even counting
No.
the cabinets, the doors.
Burn it down. Start all over again.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they frown on insurance fraud. I'm not sure how they are in
Only they
Tennessee.
find out.
Yeah,
Could have been like an electrical thing caused by the tree falling. Come on.
they could
Come on, act of God.
So we were dislocated for 6 months, living in an apartment, which reminded me how much I hate living in apartments. And we moved back in January, and there's still not a yes, it's the tree apocalypse. Yes, Holly, that's my friend Holly. It was the great tree apocalypse of 2020, and we moved back in. We did also find out every step of the way there was some other thing, like when we went to put the floors in. Because we had to drill through the floors, they had to do an asbestos test, and apparently the very bottom layer of linoleum in our kitchen had asbestos in it. So we had to have that. Yeah. So
Burn the place down.
like every little,
Not
like
asbestos
every
in it.
month and a half, we'd have some other thing where we would have to pull money out. And then we moved back in January, and then my stepdad passed away in January, and then in May I had to put my cat to sleep. So it's been a rough time. So
Vanessa, seriously, if you have sage or know someone that does, burn
You need
it.
to smudge this place. You need to get a shaman in here, a couple of rabbis, some priests. Just
like,
throw in the stuff.
Exorcism
Every
style. Yeah.
oh, yeah. It's been a hot mess, and there's not a room in my house that doesn't have boxes in it. It's like I moved back in.
So sorry.
So, but things are getting better. Things are nobody was hurt when the tree fell, which is
That's good.
right. That's the important thing. And so yeah, so that's been my rough time. So the writing, being able to get back, like, and feel like I can actually finish something, even if it's a 100-word flash fiction piece, microfiction piece, has been really good, because I have not had that with any consistency in the last year and a half. So, phew, yeah. Oh yeah, I have an octopus. Hey, Pam. So I have an octomuse.
Aww.
It's my octomuse. When I do my Twitch writing
Aw.
streams, I wear it on my head.
That's
And
adorable.
it's also a warning to my husband, because sometimes I'm grumpy.
Oh.
Did you find that on TikTok? Because I saw those on
It
TikTok.
actually, we were talking earlier about Multiverse. So one of the co-producers of Multiverse was like, "Hey, give me your email address, or give me your mailing address." I was like, "Okay," and so she sent it to me. She sent one to several people, but you can get them on Amazon. The brand is
Welcome to our
T-shirt.
haunted house on this most
Hey, babe, turn that down. This is my husband. Sorry, guys.
So I call
Well,
this
you
my
got a
Octomuse.
skeleton, so.
I call this my Octomuse,
right away.
and I wear it on my head during Twitch.
And a
writing
warm
sprints.
welcome to our macabre.
At least I'm not the only person who keeps their plushies at the writing desk. Because I
Right?
do.
Most
I do.
Right.
Hang on.
I also have a ducky.
I keep
I
mine.
have a plant.
Oh, I
so
love
I have to have a bat. I have to have bats everywhere. So yeah, he stays with me.
And I have my ducky.
This is my podcasting desk, but I have too much stuff on it. I can't even begin.
I just have an Egyptian cat. So
Oh, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I love that.
yeah,
I love
it was a
that.
gift from a friend.
I have a little cat. My friend, my best friend, her husband was stationed in
Oh, that's cool.
Japan for 4 years, so she would always bring me back tiny, little gifts. So
Oh, I love that.
that lives up on my whiteboard.
Yes.
Yay!
Nice. Well,
And Pam mentioned the octopus because she also got an octopus. So, yeah, tea turtles. That's what they're called.
Rebecca wants you to encourage you, Tim. She says you still got time.
I do, and I might. Hey, maybe I'll make it. Maybe I'll make those remaining 7 books or 5
Yeah.
books plus 2.
You can
7
do
books,
it.
whatever. It's a lot of publishing. I sure hope so. I mean, that'd be cool.
It would be awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's ever a wonder why you didn't write anything, Vanessa, in that time. I mean, it's just
Yeah. It was a hot mess. It's still a hot mess. Y'all should
Your
see
rough
my,
apocalypse,
my
yeah.
yard. My yard legit looks like Jurassic Park because it hasn't been mowed in over a year because we still haven't done
Ooh.
anything with it. If a velociraptor came out of the brush, I would not even be surprised, even a little bit.
That's perfect for
eventually cut the
Halloween.
lawn and you find these giant footprints. Find these
Yes,
giant
I
footprints
mean,
in the
I
lawn.
wouldn't. It would not. I mean, I wouldn't cut the lawn. I mean, I don't do that.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah. So.
I was looking at this the other day, and we've had conversations about this, and I'm just I wanted to throw this out there. I wanted to talk about this tonight a little bit, if I might. How many of the social media apps do you actually use on a daily basis? Because I think I'm insane. I think I have I use probably 8 or 9.
Wow.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
Dude.
What do you use?
Yeah.
What do you use?
So I'm gonna have to name them. Okay.
Yes.
Just name 4 or 5 of them, and we get the idea.
Yeah,
Come
4 or 5 is what I use, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so
on. It
YouTube.
depends how you count like YouTube.
Which,
Is it YouTube
yeah,
social
I don't
media?
use YouTube daily, but like a lot during the week I do. But there's like
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, then YouTube, and Pinterest too, I guess. So 6.
Okay, so I got Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then I use Vimeo sometimes. That's not a daily one. That's sometimes. And then there's also, I'm looking at my phone. I don't do Pinterest all that often. As far as social media sites go, no. So I guess it's 6 or 7. So I think I just counted 7.
That's not so bad. Yeah.
I wouldn't count Vimeo though. Vimeo's it's not a social. It's not a
That's
social
more like
media
Netflix.
site.
It's more like that. Kind of thing,
Well,
for filmmakers, it is actually.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, now I'm trying to count mine. Facebook. I also do Facebook pages. I do count those as separate things. I do separate marketing. Twitter, Instagram. I don't use YouTube much for marketing. So I guess I really only use 4 consistently for marketing. But YouTube, I would not be able to write without it. So I'm going to count that too. So 5.
Yeah.
I
I use
Facebook,
Twitter.
Twitter.
Oh, sorry.
Pinterest for my.
Oh, yeah,
book bubble.
Pinterest 6.
I don't use Instagram daily, but I do use it. YouTube I use more as a watcher than a social media because I watch all my channels. But that's about it, I think. Trying to think of that's about it.
I don't use any of them super consistently for book marketing because I'm a horrible marketer. But I use Facebook, even though I hate Facebook, I use Facebook very consistently because not the main part of Facebook, but I have groups on Facebook that I both run and participate in. And I use Twitter. I was using Twitter a lot more before 2016. And then during 2016 and after that, it became very political for me. And then I got overwhelmed with it. And so I'm still on there and I still schedule stuff and I'll still like respond to stuff, but I'm not on Twitter the way I used to be. And I do Twitch and because I do writing sprints on Twitch. And then I have an Instagram and I was using it for a while until the tree fell and then I stopped using it because I didn't have food. And then, although I probably should have posted a whole bunch of the tree pictures on Instagram, but I didn't.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so like I don't use Pinterest. I have a Pinterest, but I don't use it because it doesn't resonate with me. I don't understand it properly. I mean, I understand how it works, but it doesn't work for me.
Gotcha.
I remembered the 8th one. It's Discord. Discord is
Oh,
the other.
Discord, yes.
Yeah.
I'm all over Discord.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
don't
I like
use it for
Discord, too.
marketing, but I lurk in all the groups. So
Yeah.
And then I begrudgingly use Goodreads when I have to.
Is Goodreads considered social media though?
I
mean,
think
it is.
I think
Is it?
It
Okay, then I
is.
guess I have to add that to my list. I don't use it.
I mean,
all the
it's
time, but-
it's social media for remedial social mediaist, because it's like it's very that's such an antiquated side. Don't get me started. Okay, we're not going to talk about potholes. We're not going to talk about snow. We're not going to talk
A
about
good
Goodreads.
read.
We're not going to talk about
Maybe
math.
we should stop talking about social media too. Honestly,
Totally good goal.
Well, actually, Mike has a question that's related to social media, and he wants to know if you guys have had any success
Never.
with Facebook ads.
None.
No.
I
None.
closed down
sold
my
maybe
advertising
2 books out of the
platform.
Facebook ads I've done, and it's totally
Useless.
I used to have a great results for my urban fantasy, but around 2017, I'm going to say, it did start going down. The problem is a lot of the books that the readers want that are on Facebook, Facebook bans the ads, especially because dark romance is very popular. Most of my clients are there, and I have told most of them to move over to BookBub ads as opposed to AMS ads because those block certain genres as well.
Yeah.
And so does Facebook. When it comes to Facebook, your best bets for marketing on there, which is what we always tell at Partners in Crime Bookstore, that's what we tell our clients, do takeovers, be active in groups, and be active just posting your books. Look for people who are looking for book recommendations. It does take time, but it's worth the time that it takes because doing it that way, I've gotten many consistent readers who have followed me for years now. So take the time to do that and don't just rely on the paid ads.
Nice. It's good. It's a good bit of
He says
advice.
he's heard of
I need
BookBub,
that
but
kind of thing,
hasn't been
honestly,
around there yet.
myself. I haven't really even done much with any social media lately. As much as I'm on Twitter, I'm like, I don't do anything there to promote books. Not really.
We have a ton of clients that's what we do. We don't usually do their Twitter, but we'll run their pages to get interaction, the groups, because a lot of writers don't want to do that stuff. I enjoy admin work, so it works that way.
Oh.
Plus, it's an excuse to be on social media, right?
Oh no, I don't want any excuses to be on social media. And
Well, that would
people know
that's
that.
how
I say
would
that.
look at it. That's probably how I would look at it because
Oh yeah, no. It's
have
do my
to-
work and get out.
Yeah,
I guess the one I actually like now, is Discord, and all the other ones, and that's only because, like, oh yeah, I'm part of these servers that are actually interesting and have people I know on them, and otherwise I wouldn't have nothing to do on Discord. That's maybe the best thing about it is I'm not seeing random bullshit from randos on there.
Yeah,
Ever,
Discord isn't
basically.
social media in the way that Twitter or Facebook is social media. Discord is very much about intentional spaces. So, versus just everybody in a great big pot. And then, you got to sort through in whatever, with hashtags or whatever, so. Yeah, there's that either 90-10 or 80-20 rule, depending on who you talk to, where 80 or 90% of your content should be just you schmoozing around with people or giving good content that is interesting that is not yours, and then the other 10 to 20% can be your content, and that's really what it's about. Nobody continues to follow authors who are just always constantly hammering on their books. The only people who continue to follow them are other authors who also hammer on their books, and they don't pay attention to their feeds. Mm-hmm. So it's really more important, in my view, it's most important to find the social media outlets that work for you, that resonate with you as far as how they work. If that's Twitter, great. If it's Facebook, great. If it's TikTok, great. And then consistently be a member, consistently be active. So I like memes.
I love memes.
I like GIFs.
I love GIFs too, but I love memes.
I speak in GIF, especially Letterkenny GIF. I completely speak in Letterkenny GIF.
Nice.
So.
Well, I mean, we could go for a Donnybrook if you want.
Let's do it. No. I'm actually currently rewatching Supernatural from the beginning, and I haven't even started season 3 yet. I just finished season 2, and there's already been 3 Letterkenny actors in it. And I know there's a list somewhere of all the Letterkenny actors that were in Supernatural, and I'm like, I don't want to see it because I want to.
You want to know why?
What? No,
You
yeah,
wanna
no,
know
I know
why?
why. It's because it was filmed up there.
Yeah.
In
But
Canada.
and I
Same
get
with the
that.
show Psych and some Hallmark movies. Same thing.
Yeah.
All in the same, Arrow was there. But I must show you, since you mentioned it, long arm. I'm not used to this. My tattoo. I really like Supernatural.
Yeah.
So I got to meet Mark
The
Sheppard.
baby. Aw.
Oh,
You can't see it on the camera, but it even has the license plate.
I
The
was
original
going to ask
license
you
plate.
if it had the license. I met Mark Sheppard at Atlanta Comic Con
Ah.
a couple months ago. Yeah, he's really really nice. I got a signed autograph for my sister because like he's one of her favorites, and so,
His Twitter's nice. His
Yeah.
really seems really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's a
got
good
a
I had the
picture
pleasure
with
of meeting
Mark
Jensen
also.
a few years ago at the Burbank Con, the Supernatural
Uh-huh.
Con, and it was an entire surprise from my mom. She got me there, got me in the line. I was in awe. I was so sick that day, and he was one of the nicest people.
It seems pretty
Misha
cool.
Collins did a surprise signing. I didn't go into it, but he was like fighting back security guards, like, "No, I'm doing this. I'm here today, and I'm doing this." So that was awesome.
I think all of the guys who are involved in that show are just really cool people. Like
Mhm.
they all seem all the big characters from that, they just all seem like good people, like just good people, So it's one of the things I like about the show.
Me too. It's basically the fan. They're really good to their fans, and they understand it's the
Yes.
fans that kept the bloody show on.
That's right.
So they understand. Hey, if it wasn't for you, I'd be working at Barnes and Nobles. So yeah, they understand that.
Yeah.
Does Lucifer fall under that vein too? Are those folks pretty nice about the fact that didn't Netflix really save their show? Didn't the fans really save them?
I
The
love
fans saved
I
Lucifer.
love that series. Like, yes.
Me too.
I haven't watched the last season yet, but
Oh, it's
all right.
I'm not gonna lie. The last like episode, I totally ruined the Black Parade song for me because now I just want to cry.
Oh no. But
Yeah, I can't watch anything that would ruin MCR. No.
Lucifer's okay. I mean, if you're into the comics, you're like going, this isn't the comics, but just divorce the two.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
do the
going-
same thing with Arrow.
Oh my
Yeah,
God! Don't even get me started on John Constantine. Oh my God, how they fucked him up. But yeah.
Yeah. See,
Well, I
I'm
don't know
not
if you're
a
watching
comic
Legends. They have the actor going in to play a
Yes.
new character.
I know
Only
because
for
they
watching
screwed
that,
up
I
his
couldn't,
freaking
like-
character. They
That's not
had-
why they
oh, don't
wrote it
even get me
off. They're
started.
doing a movie again. They're doing
I know
another
They
Keanu
got
Reeves.
some other freaking actor to play. No, Matt Ryan is perfect as John Constantine.
I agree.
He is perfect, but they really completely ruined his character on Legends when
Yeah.
they did the freaking High School Musical episode, and I'm like going, John Constantine would never. Oh my fucking
I think
God,
it was a Disney
no!
musical episode, wasn't it?
It was terrible. Yeah, it was.
It's
terrible.
it kind of begs the question though. When did John Constantine watch Disney musicals? Because he was very knowledgeable about them.
He was in a punk band, Mucus Membrane. So yes,
Yeah.
he was a musician. But would he do? No. Would he be hanging out with an Instagram influencer? No, he would not be. It just don't even get me.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
God.
really
Talk
didn't
about-
know what to do with his character.
They
after.
didn't. They didn't know what to do with him. That's why it's always kind of in the background. They didn't know what to do with him. This is why they got rid of him. And
Yeah.
at least they gave the actor another role. Yeah, he's just an actor. Give him a gig. But I think he's happy that he no longer has to dye his hair. That's what he was
He
saying.
said
He was
it.
happy
He said
that he
it.
no longer has to dye his hair anymore, which is, I mean, I can dig that. That's gotta suck. But he's perfect. He's got the way he moves, his body, the way he moves. He's freaking John Constantine. He's beautiful.
Yeah,
But, oh, well,
I
they
love
could've.
the original series that was on NBC.
That was so great.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it was so good.
Yeah,
I love
and
the
then they
fact that
canceled
Kevin-
it.
They kept
Sorry.
sneaking in pieces from the comic. And then if you knew the comic, you're like, I know that part, and it's just great. It was beautiful, it was great, but no. It's NBC. I kept wondering how the hell are they going to do Constantine on NBC? Because
That's why it didn't work out there.
Which is why no. Hey, if they'd done him on FXX or any other thing where he could have actually been Constantine, yeah. But
It would have been a
no.
whole different story. Yeah.
Oh, girl. They could have gone all kinds of places. It was awesome.
Speaking about bad at promoting, I guess I should promote the fact that I've actually interviewed 2 actors from Arrow.
Have you? Who?
Really?
Yeah, so Emily Bett Ricards did a movie in Slamdance that I interviewed her for. It's called A Funny Story. You can see that that's up on the channel. And then I also interviewed the guy who played Deadshot. I can't think of his name right now, or Bullseye, or
Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Okay.
Deadshot.
Yeah, he did a movie at Cinequest that I interviewed them for. So
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Sweet.
yeah, so I did that in the same year, actually 2 months apart, actually. So
Very cool.
yeah.
You were
But-
so cool.
Schmoozing with
No.
the dog.
Yeah, you're so cool,
Okay.
Brewster.
Don't do that. I was just promoting my stuff. I was just trying to promote my stuff. I don't care.
Promoting his stuff, is he? Mm.
Yeah.
Misha is the best.
He
Misha
really is.
seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah.
He does.
He's got such an open heart, you know. He's just
Yeah,
he feels so genuine.
he does. Hope he's a nice guy. I've never met him. Joe's awesome. See,
Oh, he's awesome.
they were all really good. Don't get me started. It was so good. It was such a good, and it had such promise. It had such promise. I mean,
Are they,
and yet-
are they making another movie?
yes, they
Yeah.
are. I have no idea who they having, who they hired to play Constantine. I don't even know.
I think it's
I don't
Keanu
know,
Reeves
there's
again.
been-
Oh my God, not
Yeah,
Keanu.
it
It
is.
is. I think it
And
is. Yeah.
there's also been rumors that he's going to be on the Justice League Dark TV show.
Oh
and-
fuck me. Oh okay.
But
No.
everything's just like rumors, and they haven't.
I hope so. Because Keanu, no. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it was the same reason that they cut Deathstroke out of Arrow, was writing reasons, because they were supposed to put him in a Batman movie with Joe Manganiello playing him. That got cut, that got screwed up. It's like, don't screw up all my great villains. I like
Don't.
my anti-heroes.
Oh, does he? Well, Misha's also in a
Yeah, he
podcast right now called Bridgewater. That's what it is. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's good. It's a dramatic podcast called Bridgewater. It's good. He plays the protagonist. So if you want to listen to Misha, he's great. So
So how uncool am I? Well, or how cool am I? I guess I don't know.
how
I'm
cool are
rewatching
you?
Scrubs. That's what I'm rewatching. So.
Oh my God.
Scrubs?
No, no,
my
I
twin
do.
brother, my twin brother watched that show a bunch until he realized. But at a certain point of the show, he's like, he always realizes how much he doesn't like the main character. I haven't watched that much Scrubs, but he always
Oh.
tell me about that. But always like he realizes I don't like this guy anymore. Like by the end of it, every time he
That's
watches,
what-
it,
Yeah,
so
he
it's
gets
up.
annoying.
It's pretty
He does
funny.
that.
That's,
He gets annoying. But the other characters are awesome.
I love
Okay.
the doctor. What's the doctor? His mentor, the doctor.
Cox.
He had the best dry humor.
The
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who's like, the
John C. McGinn. John.
Yes.
He
Ugh.
is awesome. I love him.
Everyone's a coded. What is it? Everyone's
I
a
agree.
bastard coated bastard with bastard filling or something like that. I love that. My sister and I are constantly doing that. Bastard coated bastard with bastard filling. So yeah, I love him.
That's a lot of bastard. That's
A lot of
high
bastard,
intensity
but yeah.
bastard.
I
But now
totally
I-
agree with this statement. This is me too. I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't watched. I don't have any of the. I don't have it. I just got Amazon Prime back, and that's why I'm rewatching Scrubs. I don't have anything. I just got Showtime again, so that I can watch Dexter. But that's all. I don't have Netflix, and so I don't watch any of this stuff because.
What about what we do
guess
in the
what? I
shadows?
have so much time on my hands to do all that.
Oh,
right?
you do so much time.
That's
What about what we do in the shadows? I mean, I love what we do in the shadows. That's really clever. That's
a pretty
don't
fun
like that
show.
one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All my friends are always like, you have to watch this. You have to watch this. You're going to love it. And especially because, like, I love Letterkenny. Like, I freaking love Letterkenny. But I started watching that, and I don't like it.
Really? Oh, I'm enjoying it.
A lot of it has to do. I don't like humor that embarrasses people. And a
Oh.
lot of
yeah.
that.
Well, then
is
you're not gonna
not-
like that show.
Yeah, that's the humor, and it's fine. I just don't like that kind of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
get
lot
a
of
lot
comic
of
drop
you
in
know
that show.
vampires, but you don't like that show. I'm like, no.
Yes.
No, I do kind of like my stereotypical vampires. I like my Queen of the Damned vampires and my underworld vampires.
Oh, my
Yeah.
14-year-old goth self would hate this show because they make fun of vampires. But my 56-year-old self can look at this and go, yeah, you're right. Vampires are kind of stupid. Yeah, you're right. They're kind of
I like
stupid.
I like my my Nosferatu vampires. I like
they're-
Yeah, those two.
They had one of those at the beginning.
They
of-
did. He
doing
didn't
the
last
shadow-
long,
doing the
but they
shadow-
did.
Yeah.
Because vampires are stupid. And
I watched Dracula. Oh, sorry, you haven't put it on the screen yet. I watched Dracula. and
which
that was-
Dracula?
It was
Which
good.
one?
It's the new Netflix miniseries.
Oh,
That's
it was good
looks
till
like it's
about the
supposed to be
last two
good.
Yeah.
episodes, and
Yeah.
it was like boom, boom, boom. I was
Well,
like, what
it
the
was
fuck just
too-
happened there?
It was like too. It's like it took itself too seriously. I think towards the end, one of the things I thought was one of the things I thought was cool though is there are a lot of homoerotic undertones to it.
So
Those are deliberate. They deliberately took them from the book Mark Gatiss did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like it's clear that it's deliberate if you are into storytelling. It's very clear that it's deliberate, which I really liked because all of the previous Draculas like really whitewashed the homoeroticism in it.
Mhm.
So that's the thing that I really liked about it, that they took that and they ran with it. And the acting was okay, but it was overdone to me. It felt melodramatic by the end.
Can I ask, has Anne Rice retired? Because I haven't
No,
seen
she's
it.
got a new book coming out.
Does she? I haven't
Another
seen it.
Ramses the
Oh,
Damned.
wow.
And she did a Prince Lestat book, I think, right before the
Yeah.
pandemic.
because she was
But
vampires,
honestly,
then she was
after-
Christian, and then that didn't work out for her. Then she went back to vampires again. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I do believe, and people get mad at me for saying this. She wanted to use her religion to get people talking, Catholicism. When that didn't work, it's like, oh well, I better go back to the vampires. I need to make
Oh,
more
yeah.
money.
Yeah,
That's,
she made more money.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge
Also-
fan of that, but
I don't think it was. I don't necessarily think it was maybe that deliberate because she went to Catholicism not long after her husband died. So I also feel like there's some grief and mortality issues tied.
Yeah,
into-
the part of her going to writing to Catholicism and converting, that's not the part that I think was faked at all. I think she was legitimate for that.
Mhm.
But it was also an agent move. Yeah, let's get people talking. And when it didn't, I think it was another behind the scenes move. Okay, no one's buying your religious books because, they want erotica Beauty and the Beast, which is one of her biggest ones.
Yeah.
That's why
I
I
don't have any
tell a lot of
background.
people, especially with the newer authors, and they're like, no, you have to stick to one genre. You don't have to stick to one genre, but don't write something just to write to market. You gotta love it.
I
You
think,
have to love it and be into what you're writing.
I think you can
Though-
write to market as long as you don't hate the market like that.
Exactly.
Genre.
That's what I mean.
I would-
yeah.
I would never
Mm.
write to a market that I didn't like, at least some part of it.
Right, and a lot of people do. And
Yeah.
I'll see them talking on like real profiles. Oh, I just hate writing this so much, while their
Yes.
pen names making it's like, okay.
No.
See,
Yeah,
see,
I went
Can't do
that's-
that.
I went to a con once where a guy talked about that. He said the only reason he even wrote the thing that he wrote was because he wanted to make fun of it. And he wrote it, and now he's got a whole series on it. And he's like, yeah, I think it's stupid, but they sell, so here I am. I'm like, that makes you a whore, my friend. So,
Well, that's see. I mean, that's not really.
It's not.
No, sorry.
It's not any different than somebody going into an office every day and working a job. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's not,
it is
I
the same
don't-
thing. But this
I
is
don't
a,
see it. I don't see it as like selling out or being a whore. We're all whores. I mean, if you really want to get right down to it, we're all whores.
truth.
There is the headline for this.
Yeah, we're all whores.
You
But
know,
there's
so
just-
like I do not begrudge somebody who targets a market and writes to it and is successful.
And can make some money out of it. Knock
Yeah.
themselves out. But just don't make fun of the people who enjoy it, who love it, and don't say that,
Yeah.
well, I think what you're doing is stupid.
Yeah, don't
Wait,
make fun of
wait,
other
yeah.
authors.
Yeah,
There's
no, don't do
harm. There's no
When I
harm.
timestamp this, I'm going to timestamp the moment when it says we are all whores.
We're all whores.
And when I
Look at
say we, I
t-shirts.
don't just mean us. I mean our whole world.
Oh, but artists in general, especially.
Well,
You
no,
know,
everybody.
this is the
Everybody knows.
quietest art, but when you do any sort of art, you
Yeah.
are kind of doing a look at me, no matter what it is. It's true.
Yeah.
And if you
It
don't
makes
acknowledge
sense,
that,
yeah.
you kind of
That
have to
makes-
wait.
That makes you an
and look at it.
exhibitionist. Not
That's true. That's
necessarily a
true.
whore.
I especially notice that whenever I write something that makes me really uncomfortable with my own work, it's like that's the stuff that people seem to like and hook
Yeah.
onto, which is messed up. I gotta say, I wish I could write something that I didn't care about that much that people would enjoy as much, but apparently
Mm.
not.
We could be like me, the stuff I write, the people that are close to me, they're like, holy crap, what is this? This is coming from you. And I'm like, yeah. Like, why does this surprise you?
Like, do you even know me?
For real.
Yeah,
All
I
this
write
like,
smut
sexy
under a
and
pen
stuff,
name.
you know?
Yeah, I write smut under a pen name, and like, my family's not allowed to read it, except for my sister. My sister read it, and that's okay. But like my mom, she doesn't even know how to find them.
See, I'm the opposite. I told Late, my mom was like, yeah, just go ahead and send me your manuscript. Because I've been giving her crap about it the whole time I've been writing, because she's a teacher, okay? And I'll call her on Duo just to harass her. I'll be like, Mom, you want to read my blah, 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 blah that I'm writing today? I'm at work. You can't call me and talk about this right now. And I'm like, well, I got to talk to somebody about it.
I'm the same though. I'll send my mother the manuscripts for the Caldecott pen name, and the sex scenes I'll usually cut them out. Or if there was a time I'm like, okay, I'm just saying this real fast, just flip through them if you don't want to read them. But
That's what she does. She's like,
but
I'll
it's not
skim
straight
through 'em.
smut. It's a story, so she's getting a story even with that cut out.
Yeah.
So it works.
I was just
There's more
I
than
just did a movie
that.
where we gang banged a bunch of pastries. So
Now,
my
see, I
family
can
did
vouch
not
for
come
that.
see that, but my sister came, and it was fun. It was fun. She was just like, I can't just yay, we did.
This one
We didn't
time,
even win. But yeah, we did. We all gang banged a bunch of pastries.
Okay,
$300.
I've got to ask a follow-up question to that statement, and that is, what pastry did you end up?
Oh, we ended up all of them. We had a whole table full of all kinds of everything. And the point of the story was we ended up all gangbanging the pastries. That's the point of it. And we all did. It's a bunch of about 10 of us, and we all ended up raping this big table of pastries. It was great
So
fun.
it's like a pastry orgy.
Yes, big time orgy. And a one cut with a one cut scene, you can only do it one time, one shot.
Because
Yeah.
So we had to rehearse that whole jumping the table about 3 or 4 times before we actually did it, because you only had one shot. And then one of the cameras didn't work. So, oh my God, it was awful. So the poor chick actually got completely naked to go down on this cherry pie. Most of her scenes completely lost.
Oh, that sucks. 'Cause I would have loved to have seen that scene. I'm
Yeah.
not even lying.
You could have just cut it with a Warrant music video. It would have, that would have worked.
She was good. It was a cherry pie she actually went down on. Yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
it was fun.
Oh, the perils of indie film.
I know, right?
So dangerous.
So
Yeah. When I first published my first book, because I say first published because it's not redundant, because I am republishing the book right now. So I first published it. I will be publishing it again. But I know there's people out there who want to correct my grammar, so I'm just stating I know what I was saying there.
screw those people.
I mean,
too late,
that's
I gotta
really
shit.
Long time on that
so-
caveat.
Yeah.
What's the rest
But,
of the story?
I was sitting at the dinner table with my ex-father-in-law, and he was just staring a hole in me. And I was like, he's usually very chatty with me.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, what's going on? He goes, yeah, I just read your book.
Oh
He's
shit.
like, I'm not sure I know you anymore. I'm like, okay.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
I
so
did
I
get
can
that
relate,
comment from
Maddie.
my
I can
grandmother,
relate.
So I mean,
I can definitely relate.
I have people do that to me with murder. Before I started writing, I was a blogger since 2011, and I would blog for almost any genre because I enjoy reading almost any genre. So one of them was a Christian romance writer, and she said, yeah, of course I'll share your book on my blog. You've done so much for me. I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's like, oh no, it's okay with a little bit of cursing. And throats are getting ripped out and heads are rolling, covering the guy in front of him in blood while the corpse sits there and stares at him, and dead bodies are, they're writing in their blood on the walls. And that was one of my tamest ones. That was just my first book.
Right.
And needless to say, she doesn't share my stuff anymore and took that warning to heart.
Yeah.
Because there are certain people like, yeah, you don't want, and she's like, but no, you're always so good to me. It's very nice you want to reciprocate. I am telling you, you're not going to think the same of this, nice little blogger girl you've known.
And it's
I like gore.
I told you, I'm telling you, I am not lying to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I'll even put a note in the front when I do an author's note. This book contains excessive violence and gore. Please be, just in case. Because a lot of urban fantasy doesn't, especially.
Yeah.
Mine does, which is how it goes more into the occult horror genre. So I have to let people know all the time. I don't want people coming back saying, well, you didn't warn us. Well, I tried and other people didn't listen. So now I'm warning you in the book. Period.
Now I also write urban fantasy with horrific elements. So yeah, I have a scene where somebody's heart gets ripped out, and I had somebody come up to me and go, I really like your book, but I really wasn't expecting this one part, and I thought, oh, it's the heart part. And I was right. It was the heart part. So
Rebecca says she loves your friend now more than ever, Nikki, with the cherry pies.
Oh, yeah, trust me. Oh, she's got the best breasts I've ever seen in my life. And they're real. They're beautiful. But yeah, God love her.
What I tell you, the show just goes.
And then boom. So, speaking of, one time a woman, a little lady on the bus that I go to work in, she bought one of my books. She bought one of my books. And I happened to see her reading it on the bus. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this nice little Southern woman. And then later that afternoon, she comes up to me and she just goes, I don't know how your mind works. I don't know how. It wasn't even one of the bad ones. It was, but good little Southern Christian woman. She don't do that kind of crap.
The good response to that is always, well, I don't know how my brain works either. So we're here.
Nobody really knows how the brain works. Come on.
Same boat.
Therapists, neuropsychiatrists, all of it.
Oh my God, I am NDAF. I know all about that. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So I got little buttons, everything, NDAF. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my aunt bought my smut book, but she's not reading it because she promised me she wouldn't read it, but she still wanted to support me.
Oh, you love my cherry pie. I'll bet you do.
Sorry, Vanessa.
Now that's explicit. That's not even a euphemism anymore.
That's not even. So no. No, my family doesn't read my stuff very much. My mother-in-law won't touch it. And the rest of my family's dead. I had nothing to do with it, but they're all dead, so they don't read my stuff. So
yeah, I can't get my mom to read my urban fantasy book. She's had it sitting on her table for 2 years now. She's like a chapter.
No, they don't read it.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky that my mother, there are a couple of the gore scenes that might have been, and I told her, I'm like, there's going to be, some torture in here, but I'm very lucky that she reads it. And I can respect her opinion to get an honest opinion as a reader because she reads everything. Her and my grandmother introduced me to everything when I was a kid. She bought me my first Poe book when I was 8 years old, Edgar Allan Poe collection. So it's nice, and it makes me sad when I hear that people's families don't read their stuff.
Don't read it.
We're all so talented.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I have a few other people in my family who literally could care less. So I'm very lucky that I have my mom for that reason.
I think it's bad because my kids are like, because your kids look at you like your mom, and they don't want to really kind of see that kind of thing. So, but
yeah, that's totally different.
My husband just not that big a thing in it. He doesn't like horror, so he's not big in it. My sister buys all my books because she's hoping one day I can make her money. So she's hoping that she can.
Family is an odd thing. I have to agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
My sister bought some of my books, but I think when she got to the one with the black goo torture, she just had enough. So
that sounds very intriguing.
I know, Lily and I are like,
that was my attempt at paranormal romance that turned into a horror novel. So,
well, I actually gave Melinda a character. She has a character in my Jake Ishinhead stuff, Melinda Page, but I ended up having her have sex with a fish man. And she's a little like, what the fuck, dude? What?
Shape water or worse?
Kind of a little bit. It got more Dagon Lovecraftian, but she's a real cool character. She's a very, kid, because she wanted me to make her a character. She wanted to be I want to be a badass. I want to be a hero. And you think I'm not like I am in real life. So I did. I made her a really cool badass character, but she ends up screwing a fish guy. So.
As you do.
Hey,
And
there's a trade-off.
yeah,
There's a
As
trade-off.
you do.
So,
There's a,
Anita, what you were saying, a lot of us, I think, start out with an idea for one thing, and sometimes our minds just go a little south.
You gotta
maybe?
follow the story. You gotta
Yeah.
follow
Well,
the story.
Oh, yeah.
I started writing the paranormal romance because I wanted to write to market, and then I realized, I don't really like paranormal writing paranormal romance. I'd rather write horror. So,
I'm not
You
romantic.
torture with
so-
black goo. That's awesome.
so it's now a horror novel with a sex scene. So
That's fine.
Yes.
that
Yeah,
works.
actually-
I've done a couple of those. That works.
Oh, sorry, Rebecca. Yeah.
I'm
That
sorry.
sucks.
I just I want to mention real quickly. There's a specific note for you, Nikki, in the chat. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but it is meant for you and you alone. So you might
So
want
go find it.
Can I go
Probably
find
R-rated,
it?
very R-rated mostly.
Yeah, it's at the 1049 mark.
Oh my god! Now I'm scared. One second. I don't
I,
have it here.
49 in
I
Central
won't. I
Time.
won't. I won't
Yeah.
put it on the screen just because I don't. I don't want to get in trouble.
How about the okay? Am I cherry pie?
Mm, yes, I
Rebecca's
am.
calling you out, Joe.
Yes, she does it quite often.
I don't mean to. Oh, babies. Okay.
Ah,
See, so I showed to a
Seriously, you
cat.
never
So a
know-
cat pops
you
in.
never know what you're
Everybody
gonna.
has to
Sweet
drink.
dreams, baby.
So,
Okay.
and on one of my Discords through the pandemic, we had Zoom calls on Saturday nights, and the rule was if an animal or a human gets on the screen that wasn't supposed to be on the screen, everybody has to drink. So drink.
I'm out.
I'm
All
all
right.
out.
Well,
I got
text
water.
husband, tell him to bring you more. We
I
already
think
talked
mine
about
fell
this.
asleep with the child because I've been sitting here texting him like, "Hey,
All I have is soda.
More alcohol, please. No.
please
But
bring
no.
the bottle."
You can run off for a second if
Run
you
out
want.
and
It's
get
okay.
the bottle.
We're live for another 10
Yeah.
minutes or so, so you're good.
I mean, but then I might miss something. I mean,
No, I've
Yeah.
decided this is the last for the weekend. I'm gonna go drive this weekend. So this is my last for tonight.
I was gonna say I don't think I write anything nearly as dark as anyone else here. It's weird. Especially because I was classifying my stuff as dark fantasy. And I'm like, I don't think this really qualify. Oh, well, some of it. I'm like, this doesn't really qualify. Sure, there's like vampires and succubi and stuff, but whatever. Doesn't really work.
But
But
it
it's not that brutal. It's just not that brutal. It's
I'm
not
always
so
amazed that
brutal.
It doesn't have to be that
But there's,
brutal
like,
because those characters
fighting.
mean it is dark fantasy.
Fair
Well,
Those
enough.
characters do qualify.
Women
as that.
should write more horror. We actually experience more horror. We understand more
Absolutely.
horror. I mean, blood and death to us is just bread and butter. We understand that stuff a lot more than men do. I'm always amazed that there aren't more. Yeah, why there aren't more women write horror. Oh,
There are
there's-
a ton of
Absolutely.
them.
Women
Ton
that
of them
write
in the
horror.
community.
Yeah, but we're not exactly ever. When you think about horror, you think about Stephen King, Dean Koontz,
that's
all these boom, boom,
because-
boom,
but
boom,
that
boom.
doesn't-
You don't
Yeah,
think about
doesn't
women.
have to do
The
with how many
indie world is
women.
full of women horror writers.
I know, but still,
It doesn't
when you
have to
think
do with
about
how many women
Yeah.
horror writers are, it had to do with the gatekeepers and the
Yeah.
publishers promoting
Right.
men, and they promoted men across the board except in romance.
always have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you
with
know,
romance.
so
Yes, I know. I've had that problem where people will ask me about some of my stuff and think that I don't read girly stuff, and I'm like, trust me, I don't write girly stuff.
It's not that we need more women horror writers. We need more promotion of women horror writers.
Women horror
Ah, yeah.
writers.
That's
Yes.
why they started the Women in Horror Month in February, which I don't
Right.
think is going on anymore. But
Yeah, it is.
but
Not the big
yeah.
publishers, but it is.
yeah, it is among indie folks and even just like horror writer, groups. There was something you said, Nikki, that made me think of something, and I can't think what it is now. Dang
Dig it. It'll come. Okay.
It'll come to you like after this is over.
it! Age and alcohol.
Yeah, you have
That's
5
what I'm
minutes.
doing now. Age and
Age sucks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it was.
Oh, good.
When you said I don't write girly, yes, you do. You absolutely write girly. They just don't know what girly means.
That girly is okay. That's true. That's true. They don't
You a
know what
girl.
girly is.
That's right. I
I write
girly,
female. Yeah,
but you
trust
can't
me. Yeah.
handle it.
Mm-mm.
You can't handle it.
Oh my God, they have no idea. They have no idea. No.
It's like, and because a lot of people, of course, and they'll get scared too if it's a female protagonist, and there are a lot of men out there who do think, well, I can't read that. I can't. No, yes, you can. And I think that's why I like, this is the second thing I've done with Go Indie now. And I'm not dealing with a lot of the men who are kind of looking down, who are dealing, you guys are all so nice on here.
Thank you.
And it's great because I've been in some other live chats where the men are not as welcoming to the women in fantasy and horror. And it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I want to see is I do want to see more women writing gore horror. I want to see more women doing the torture stuff, the really, because the literary is great. It's pretty. It's fun. I want to see it get dark. I want, when people think like, Vanessa was saying Stephen King, I want there to be a female equivalent out there in the trad world for people to reference.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that should be a challenge for you.
Yes, it should be you, Lily.
Go for it.
I'm trying.
Well, maybe if you want to go trad anyway, maybe you don't. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the control I have so much. When I started out, I was with a small press, but they operated like a trad, and it was great. But having my own little control, I've become a control freak, so I don't know if I could ever go trad now.
Oh,
See, I don't think I could do with it either.
Yeah, the paycheck advance, that would be nice.
But then the royalties are so tiny for a book anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, the books are the royalties per book are so tiny, but then there's so many more books sold, so it probably balances out.
I just want to
Just in
lease their
general.
distribution. That's what I want. I just want.
Yes.
I don't want you to publish my book. I just want you to release my book and distribute.
Yeah,
That's what I
that'd
want
be
you to
sweet.
do.
I mean, at this point, I'm so sick of. I don't even like the idea of somebody else putting a cover on one of my books that I didn't make. Generally, it's weird.
Well, I mean,
Same.
I don't make my covers
I
because
don't either.
nobody wants that. But
Yeah,
but I couldn't I don't like.
But you want to be able to control it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like not having input and control over what it looks like. So
Yep.
So yeah. But,
Yeah, I taught myself how to make my covers over many years because I do like that control. I like being able to see what's in my head go right out there.
Yeah.
Likewise.
I have the technical skills to do it. I don't have a visual design brain. That's not how my brain works.
The funny thing is now I don't think I could tell anybody how to design a cover the way I want it, but I could definitely do it myself. I don't think like communicating to an artist, like, oh come on. No, we're not doing that anymore.
See, for me, when I talk to my cover artists, it's like this is the feel I want from the cover. This is what the characters look like. This is what the, general kind of story tropes are. I want the cover to feel like this. And they, in their magical brains, are able to translate that into a cover that I'm like, oh my God, that's what I want.
I design for other people too, and that's the best thing is when they give me something vague, like, okay, here's a character description, a plot, go with it. That's when I can do my best work because I'm not trying to envision someone else's vision.
Yeah.
So what you do with your cover designer, I know your designer appreciates that for sure.
Oh, good. Because because for me, it's like, I don't know what to do with that. I know the feel I want from it. I know what I want it to look like, but I don't know what I want it to look like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What it should look like, maybe.
I don't know what
it
the
needs
elements are. I'll know it when I see it. It's like porn. I'll know it when I see it.
It's funny. I was thinking back about. I also hired somebody to do my cover, and they surprised the hell out of me. It was not the cover I wanted that I thought about, but it was fantastic. It was beautiful. I was really, really happy. But I could not get the same way about the audio narrator. Me and him fought tooth and nail for so somebody saying my words I have a problem with, but somebody creating, taking carte blanche with my words. And that's probably mostly because of my film background too, because I know what I want to hear, but I had a real trouble with the audio narrator aspect of everything and controlling that. I felt like I was more controlling there, and I'm not a controlling person, so it's kind of weird. But the
those
cover,
are your words.
I just let the guy go, and he was fantastic. So
Yeah.
I mean.
My thinking about the cover artist is this is their wheelhouse, this is where they live. And so they're going to come up with something way better. I'm limited because I'm seeing the story and I'm limited by the story, and they don't have that. So
Well, Rebecca,
Yeah, it was
feeding people
great.
the trees
I'd read it.
isn't something I've done, but I do like trees eating things in books.
I'd read that.
Wow.
I think urban fantasy.
No, not too
I
dark.
No,
don't
that's
think
definitely not too
no.
dark.
No.
No.
As
Yeah, no,
long
I
as
had
the
a
tree-
girl
as
type
long as
whole
the
wording.
tree
Stab
enjoys
their
it. As long as the
bodies
tree
and
enjoys
make
it,
them
it's not too
explode.
dark.
Is there consent? Does the tree give consent?
The tree has to be having a good time, and then I'll be happy. I care more about the
We're
tree.
gonna cancel
I
trees
all about
now.
the tree.
Trees didn't
Okay,
give
fine.
consent.
Fine,
No more
fine.
trees.
It's not. Well, it's not murder. The tree's just doing the eating. That's fine. The tree's not guilty.
Was it dead?
The tree must be
before?
fed.
The tree must be fed.
Feed the stick. Feed the stick.
I'd be curious to hear from everybody what they think their darkest moment in their books are.
Oh.
How much
I
time you got?
have a torture scene that gets pretty like intense in my Face Shifter series in book 4. So, which I mean, I don't know. There's also some stuff in the book coming out in January that are kind of dark, but I don't know.
I think
I have a scene in my Jackie Shinheji that's kind of personal only because a guy gave me some really hard trouble at work, kind of made me some hard times, and I was really freaked out. And I thought, okay, what can I do with all these feelings? I know what I'm going to kill him. So I used him as a character in this particular episode. Jake is anyway, and Jake ends up the Boo Daddy kind of comes up and ends up killing these people, basically ripping off his head, using his neck like a Pez, and the blood, the trachea comes out like a Pez. And poor Jake is there on the floor having to deal with the gore and all this kind of crap, but he just rips this person apart. And for me, it was very cathartic because this asshole deserved it. And then I went in that Monday, and my boss, one of my bosses, one of my mini bosses, told me, he said, I heard you had the problem, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I killed him over the weekend. Everything's good. And I had to explain. I had to explain.
Yeah, 'cause those are not funny anymore in today's climate. Those
They're not. But it
are
was
not funny.
It worked. It was so nice. So nice. Because, yeah, Jed. I'll never forget him. What an asshole. But, yeah, I killed him terribly. It was great fun.
Awesome.
Killed him
God, I'm
terribly.
just
That is
sitting
such
here
a
like-
southerly way of saying that.
I know.
Yes,
The
it is.
hand
That's
in the
great.
velvet glove.
I think I have to go with Never Again, my occult horror alternate history novel. And it's the main character is a siren in World War II. And there's a bunch of gross things. I mean, he has to feed by eating innards. That's technically how the sirens feed. But they do it through sex to be less gross. So at one point, it's a fresh corpse, but he's not into necrophilia. So he rips open the guy's guts and just starts eating them, eating the intestines like sausage. So that's one of them. Later on, he's having a nightmare after having seen a lot of this stuff, and he gets to watch the gradual decomposition of all his friends who had passed away in the concentration camps, and watches as their flesh is coming off their bones and being eaten alive by maggots. The eyeball pops back in and the maggots climb out. And then at the end of it, he has to see the woman he accidentally let die, who he was in love with, while they start quartering her and breaking her arms off. And then that's finally when his friend wakes him up. And it's like he sees all the things that happen, even though he never witnessed the other guy's deaths. He's witnessing their decomposition and their afterlife torture.
Nice.
Really? Right.
Thank you, Rebecca. That book messed me up doing the research for it. There's so much that I was going to put in there that got cut because researching the real horrors in World War II, that was
terrible.
That was hard. And so much of it, I'm like, I can't write this. So it was originally going to be a little over 100,000 words, and I cut almost 20,000 of just violence and torture because, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of yikes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of yikes.
That whole book is a lot of yikes.
That's the title. It's a whole lot of yikes.
Yeah. The multiple yike book.
The bloodiest thing I probably did was with the pirates in Renegades of the Lost Sea. He tied his victims up to a pole and sliced them open. let them slowly die with their innards coming out.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So mine, actually, I was having trouble because, like I said, my stuff's not as dark as some of the things so far. But one of these, I actually had one of my more recent books, The Forgotten Mask. I had this guy, the god of death, who's like this. It's like a Greek style pantheon, but he's able to animate dead bodies and put the souls back into them. But they're still decaying, rotting corpses, of course.
Yeah.
It's not a nice life. But those are but there's this one particular group of his servants that he just calls the punished, and he keeps them around because they're supposed to be punished. And at one point, he's like, "Oh yeah, you need to see how to swing this hammer. Here, check this." And he's one of these guys standing in front of him, and he just smashes him with the hammer, and the thing can't die. But he's this super strong. Yeah, he just crushes him flat basically with the giant mace. And
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
and the other thing is that god is not a nice guy either. He's an asshole. So you can imagine the people he's punishing aren't even necessarily bad people. They're just people he's torturing for no good reason, probably.
I feel like that's like most gods.
Yeah, that's how this. Yeah, I
Yeah, especially the old gods. Yeah.
In this setting. Yeah.
Yeah, most gods are assholes. So so like the heart ripping out, and there's a funny story about that that's not gory, but that's pretty like physically gross, right? It's very
very visceral.
Probably the most horrific scene I've written that is kind of very emotionally dark is the main character's been kidnapped by these things that people think are vampires, and the dad he's fallen asleep and he's having a nightmare, and it's watching his daughter go off to jog, and then but she doesn't get anywhere. She gets attacked, and then by shadows, and he can't get to her, and then she's laying there and he gets to her, and all of a sudden he realizes, or no, he doesn't get to her. All of a sudden he realizes he can hear her crawling across the grass toward him, and she ends up like coming up, and it becomes this really uncomfortable, like it's very gross but also very uncomfortable because there's sexual undertones to it, or it sounds like there's sexual undertones to it, and it's just like
yeah.
Exactly.
It's no daddy thing
like,
going on.
On a psychological level.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's probably the kind of darkest if you're not counting just straight up gore. So
I'm glad I'm not the only sick bastard here tonight.
Very good company.
On the emotional level, I had one of my characters feed his daughter to a vampire so he could join the vampire ranks.
As you do.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
the
next
story
section of the
Twilight,
book, his son seeks revenge for the death of his sister. So
I like that.
Of course.
I definitely have a bunch of books that I'm going to need to add to my TBR list after this one from all of you guys. No, seriously, all your books sound really good.
I would agree.
Thank you. I have to agree with Lily. They do.
Yeah, I'd say the same, except that I'm a squeamish reader. So some things I'm just gonna have to say that sounds good for those who will enjoy it. I'm gonna go past. I mean, I am such a squeamish reader. I pass out reading books sometimes. That's how squeamish I am.
Oh wow!
If I read something too gory, I'd be like, it hasn't happened in a long time, but like I was reading this one book and there was a description of a man being run over by a plow, not like an old school plow, like by a horse. And that was a little much for me, even though it was only a dream in the book. And like I remember, next I woke up and my phone was ringing. Like, oh, okay, I guess that really had an effect.
Wow!
Oh wow! I was gonna say, well, I do have YA books, adults like them, thinking, no, girl gets her skin ripped open, tortured to madness. Another guy gets kidnapped and fed to a wolf. No, not my YA either.
Rack my brain. Like I have a hard time writing anything too gory. Like actually, the one thing I had this one short story where it was about this guy getting his tongue split open so he could have something put into it. He was doing it surgically. But then it was so gross that I couldn't even edit the story. I'm like, this is too visceral for me. I never finished it.
My smut doesn't
watching them. I'm sorry.
My smut doesn't have any gore in it. Although it is BDSM, so there might be a little bit of.
There's just a tiny bit of.
I can't even recommend that stuff on my end.
But
because-
nobody gets cut open in mine or anything. Well, not in any of the current ones, probably in a future one. But
I forgot the story in Ruin City where one of my monsters, I show the creature eating someone alive. I forgot that one.
oh,
That is
that's
my
good
worst
too.
I like that.
I was going to ask you, Tim, do you have trouble watching horror films too?
Not that much, no. Like I enjoyed Hellraiser. That was pretty
Mm.
recent for me. I mean, I
That's
was
good.
getting caught up. I enjoy some. I visual horror is actually like I can do a lot better with it most of the time. I think it's my imagination scarier than my actual
Yeah.
than what they're showing on the screen most of the time.
That's
Though
interesting you
some
said-
Yeah,
things,
that's a
though,
sign of a
sometimes
very
sometimes have a
healthy
similar
brain.
effect. Sometimes they have a similar effect, but it's all imagination usually. It's all like, oh man, like if they show gore that's a little too realistic, it can really get to me. Like in the or too grisly, but also like I can believe that was real. Then it can really get to me. Like in No Country for Old Men,
Uh-huh.
I had no problem with any of the violence in that movie, except for the part where the villain guy, where Chigurh is taking the buckshot out of his knee, and I'm like, that's so bad. And I actually just stopped watching the movie for like a day.
Your
and come
short
back to
story
it.
reminded me of a film. It's not a horror film, but it's a movie called Old Boy. And
Oh
he
yeah,
cuts out-
yeah.
cuts out his tongue at the end of the movie. So
Ugh.
it's very interesting. And
Tongue
it's
removal.
and
It's
it's
no
very
good.
visceral. You see him pulling the tongue and taking the scissors and
Yeah,
I
there was
haven't
a
seen
short
like that.
film. What was it? Like the cat with hands, where and it ends with the guy's tongue being bitten out of
Yes,
his
the
mouth.
cat with
Yeah.
hands. Oh, I
That
remember
was
that.
really fun. I like that one, but it's
Yeah.
also like, it's just basically a monologue, and then the guy gets his tongue bitten out. It's like, yeah, that's
Hostel, yeah.
that's weird.
yeah. Some of them,
That's a weird one.
some of them are just gore for gore's sake, like Hostel.
I'm not
And
into torture porn. I'm not into
No, me
torture
neither.
porn.
yeah, it's kind of gruesome. I mean,
But then
It's
like that beginning of Hellraiser though, like I really like that, where it's like the guy's face like being pulled about by chains, and it's a little old school as far as the effects.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't look that realistic, but it's still like, this makes you think in bad ways.
I'm a fan of campy horror. I love campy horror. My favorite kill in a campy horror, and that's in Jason, in one of the Jason movies, where he takes the girl out of the tent and slams her against a tree, and she's
Just
still
the sleeping bag.
Yeah, that's my favorite kill of all time. So
I love
Oh,
the
weird.
Freddy.
That's an
I
interesting
love
one.
the third Freddy movie where he kills the druggy chick and his hand turns into hypodermics and he goes, oh, what a rush. I thought that was hilarious.
That's camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
And that's what I loved about that particular movie is the whole thing was camp, and that because that's what they were doing it. They were doing it campy on purpose. It was hilarious.
Mhm.
And people would laugh. I go back to Supernatural for my favorite camp kills. We all know how campy that show could get. And it was one of the episodes with Bobby Singer, and his neighbors kept telling him she needed him to fix the wood chippers and excuse him to go over there because she liked him. And this creature that comes to life that his friend Rufus didn't get, they don't know how to kill her. They don't have the right weapons to kill her. And eventually Bobby throws her into the wood chipper. And she comes out. There's no body left. It's just gore pieces all over the woman who likes him. She's just staying there in her nightgown. And Bobby's like, "Your wood chipper's fixed." That's just one of my favorite ones. That's one of the best.
Was that an ode to Fargo?
Could be, but think
That
about a
might
wood
be,
chipper
yeah.
would take care of all the monsters, wouldn't they? Think about it.
Yeah, you just need to get them
Yeah.
in there somehow.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Especially because they're not that big in Supernatural, possibly because of the limitations of the medium, right? They don't have the
Yeah.
effects.
Well, I
of
know,
big
I know, I
monsters.
know the writers for Supernatural have a tendency to kind of do odes to certain things, and they like
Oh,
to.
yeah.
They do.
So I was wondering if that was an ode to Fargo.
Yeah, it is. Bobby lives in North Dakota.
Yeah.
So yeah, that it was.
Yeah.
Is that the little
It's
guy?
funny-
Is that the little guy in the wood chipper over there? Yeah.
The silliest part, the first season of that show, the scariest episode for me was when the actual episode, the only episode that was actually kind of scary for me was the one where they actually went to Minnesota, where I'm from, and they got abducted by hill people or whatever. Like,
Oh
when
my
they-
god, that
Oh,
one
yeah.
is still creepy to this
I'm like,
day.
wait,
Yeah.
this doesn't even have a supernatural creature in it, and it's the scariest episode. I guess Minnesotans are the scariest of them all.
The scariest ones are always the ones that could be true. I mean,
Yeah.
all of Stephen King's book, Misery, is still the scariest.
Oh God,
one.
Misery. Oh man.
So,
And
yes,
Gerald's game.
yeah,
I agree with
Gerald's
Misery
game.
for sure. But how sick are we too? Because during the pandemic, when we were all locked down, the #1 movie on Amazon was Contagion.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's true.
They're like, maybe there's some tips in here about surviving.
How to survive.
Which nobody does in that movie, really.
Okay, I haven't seen it. That was funny.
It's crazy. That's and it's kind of funny how, well, not funny, but it's kind of ironic how it's, you know, it kind of comes.
Well, yeah,
full circle.
post-apocalyptic book sales went up during the pandemic
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Because so
Yeah.
many of them were because of the virus. And these are things that were written 5-6 years ago, and sales were just jumping. And I remember a couple people
And
I
then
know
a
being
minute or
like,
two,
"Why is
there'll be
everyone
nonfiction."
buying this now?" Yeah, there'll be nonfiction soon.
Yeah.
God.
And a lot, and Stephen King's The Stand. That sold a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he was like, "This is not going to be like The Stand," and the death toll kept rising. And he wrote a tweet, he's like, "I stand corrected."
Oh God.
I think that was more of.
No, that's a pun.
I think that was
Boom,
more.
boom,
Of,
boom.
I don't think that was more of the subject matter as the fact that it was this giant book that nobody could get through, so everybody challenged themselves to try and get through a big book.
Oh, I read
yeah,
The
yeah.
Stand twice. I love The
I read,
Stand.
the uncut edition that was released in the 90s.
I
That,
had
I mean,
that,
the
but
original shorter one doesn't even measure up.
I guess I'm the one who's guilty of not finishing that one then.
Oh,
I
I've
don't
finished. Yeah.
finished a lot of Stephen King books, but yeah.
I skipped through a bunch of it, to be honest. But I got.
Well,
I just,
if you can't skip around when a book isn't grabbing you, then what's the point of the book? I mean,
Ooh.
seriously,
Totally.
I think at that point, if you can't treat a book like it's just it's a plaything, you should maybe take a step back and reevaluate your life. Because that's what I mean. I don't know. If you like every part of the book, read every part of the book. If you don't, just read the parts you do like.
I've gone back to reread books and read just the scenes that I like. So yeah.
But that's like basically how I got through like Lord of the Rings and all that, because like I don't like description, and it's like so much
Yeah.
description.
Oh, God.
And it's just like skim, 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 skim. Oh, look, I can turn the page. Skim, skim, skim. Oh, look, I can turn the page.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's always like, and the funny thing about fantasy is it got even more excessive after the Wheel of Time. Like, there's all these canned descriptions and endless things. I'm like, and that's a series I couldn't get through. Like, there's just not enough good stuff mixed in with all that.
Yeah.
Oh well,
I didn't read that. I didn't read. I'm a bad Jordan Kahn guest because I've never read Robert Jordan.
I've only read 2 books in that series, and I consider myself to be primarily a fantasy author. So, and a high.
Well, I don't feel bad then.
Yeah, I've never finished them either. But Lord of the Rings, I remember reading them, binge reading all 3 together in one huge volume. I still have the volume. I bought a new one for the 50th anniversary, I think, and I read every single word from the open page all the way through the end of the appendix. I just could not stop.
Well, I read The Hobbit when I was in high school or something, and I didn't like it. And so I didn't read.
I don't like The Hobbit either. I love the movies, and people are like, "Really? I love the movies."
Really, the opposite
I'm not a
for me.
fan of the
Yeah,
Hobbit
I'm
book.
much more of a fan of the book.
But I never read Tolkien again until the Lord of the Rings movies came out, and I loved the first one. So I was like, all right. And my husband, he's a big nerd, so of course he has all the books and everything, and he's like, you haven't read these, you have to read them. I was like, all right. And I made it through the first 2, and I made it halfway through the third one, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do any more with this.
Yes, my problem with The Hobbit is the opposite of yours with Lord of the Rings. I don't feel The Hobbit has enough detail. Especially with Philly and Killy's deaths. It's like Bilbo wakes up and then you hear all these people have died, and it's like, no, how? Show me the murders. Show me all of
Yeah.
this.
That might just be the author.
Yeah, it's a personal thing, I think.
Yeah,
Show me the
definitely
murders.
is.
I just want to mention that for people following along at home who's keeping score, Maddie's husband came through, and she
Yes,
got-
Oh,
yes, he
great.
did. And
All I've got left is water. I'm out.
hey, they said you came through. You're getting brownie points.
See, that's my
He's
secret is
set
all
up
I ever
his
have is
PS5,
water.
so he's been waiting for like 7 months to get this, and he's finally got it.
Yay!
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yay, nerds!
Yes, gotta love the nerds.
Yes.
Congratulations to the few, the proud, the owners of the PS5.
Right.
Yeah, he was really lucky. You said you wanted a raffle
What?
or something. Oh, he got the opportunity to order it. I'm sorry.
Oh, the opportunity.
Yeah,
I think it really got
You
people
got
over
the
the barrel with that
opportunity
one.
to give them his money.
yeah.
That's
Awesome.
hilarious.
Well,
You'll thank us for the opportunity to buy our console.
nice. Well, I think we'll say last call here. Anybody got
Okay.
anything else they want to talk about real quick before we say goodnight and good luck to everybody?
Ah,
I think so. The
I'm
octopus
good.
might have something to say, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, octopus.
Well,
just
at least it's not an angry octopus.
Yeah. This
You know, if someone's angry at the end of this, that's
All
not
happy.
good.
For real.
Yeah. Which has happened before too. That's another thing that's happened on this show.
Oh, I can only imagine. You get a bunch of people together with alcohol, yeah.
They drink
But
It'll be a
the-
virtual bar fight.
Some folks get rowdy.
Yes, some of us
But
get
again,
take it a
bar
little
fights are
too
fun to
seriously.
watch. So, I mean,
And the whore discussion.
All right. So with that being said, why don't we tell everybody where we can find you at? We'll go from the opposite end this time. So Nikki, to start us off, tell everybody where
me.
they can find you.
okay, you can find me at my little whoop, whoop, there I am, that little website, or on any of the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, all those places. Amazon, of course, is where all my books are. You can go find my author page, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm the wind. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, and you'll see Nikki this Sunday on This Week in Indies as well.
Yes, and I'll be doing the last 5 minutes. I'll be reading from a bit from my story, The Galvanized Girl. That's what I've decided to read from.
Well, we'll look forward to that. Awesome. All right, Lily, tell everybody where they can find you.
You guys can all find me. I made things very easy for everyone with my search engine optimization. You can just search my name here. There we go. I'm pointing at it now. Right on Google, and it'll show up with my website that has my newsletter, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, and Facebook page, Instagram. It all shows up right there on the first page. So anything you want to know and any place you want to find me is right there. And happy reading.
Awesome. All right, Anita, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on my website at afstewart.ca, Twitter at @scribe77. I've got a Facebook group, AF Stewart's Minions. My Redbubble store is AF Stewart, and probably there's other places, but basically just Google AF Stewart and you'll find something.
Nice. All right, Madeline, tell everybody where
all
they
right,
can find you.
guys. Here we go. There's my website right there. It's got links to all of my social media on there, so it'll be a lot easier to go there. You can also find links to all of my books. I am on Amazon. I now am also on Google and Apple and Kobo and Barnes & Noble as well. So check out my work and follow me on social media.
Awesome. All right, Vanessa, tell everybody where they can find you.
Hi. There. That's where you can find me. Yes. So Vanessa Junta, as you should write it down because it's all spelled very funky. So yeah, if you even just search on my name, you'll find me because I'm the only one. Also, you can find me on Facebook. If you're a writer and you're looking for a really supportive group, I run a group called The Writing Tribe, TWT, The Writing Tribe. And we do all kinds of really cool supportive stuff. So
Nice.
that's where you can find me.
Cool. All right, Tim, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Well, you can. Oh, yeah, wrong hand. So you can find find my books at timniederwriter.com/books. I'm basically exclusive with Amazon right now, so the ebooks you can only get them there. But yeah. Oh, also you can find my Vela stories if you scroll down far enough on that page. I got 3 or 4 Vela stories up there that you can read the beginnings of. And if you like those stories, if you actually hit the like button on those stories, you're more likely to see more episodes of them coming out in the future. Anyway, there's a lot of episodes, some and a few of others, but yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Awesome. All right, and Josh says it was a fun show, and JD's excited to be hanging out with Nikki this weekend on Sunday.
Yes, it's gonna be
He'll
fun.
be with he will be there as well. And I'm Joe Compton. This is Go Indie Now. Congratulations, you found us. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for being here. While you're here, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment, tell us your favorite horror stories and pastries to molest. and we'll really appreciate all of that and enjoy it. And thank you so much, because you know why? It's always time to go indie now.
Go indie now.
Go Indie now!
Yes.
And with that, the bar is closed. Good night, everyone.